Welcome back, Culturians. Today we're here to talk about a surprise to the entertainment industry, but something that you and I, well, we already knew. New shows and films are terrible, and they have zero staying power. In fact, when it comes to streaming, older shows and films are still beloved to this very day. So much so that they dominate the viewership numbers on these streaming services. So let's get into some detail and numbers that people may be missing, and Hollywood was definitely missing. Here we go. Now before we start, a quick 10-second plea to remind you that I'm on a subscriber drive right now, at least through the end of the month, and I'm trying to make that magical number of 20,000. So please, if that little red subscribe button is red, please turn it to gray. It's absolutely free, and if just 2% of you, of the 40% of you that are watching my videos that aren't subscribed, subscribe, well, I'd be well past 20K today. On that note, let's start talking about clicking. Let's imagine scrolling through our favorite streaming service, trying to find something worth watching, which is a challenge. After several annoying minutes of scrolling past a whole bunch of junk, just awful looking dreck, what are you fortuitously going to find? Well, you guessed it, a whole area of comfort shows. You have How I Met Your Mother, and Friends, and The Office, and for ladies, Gilmore Girls, and maybe even some older shows of an era before you were born. You settle in, and you watch hours of these old favorites that never seem to disappoint. There's no garbage radical politics, there's no lectures, there's no questionable content that you have to skip past. It's just you and the DeLorean that brought you to a time when things were good and not so divisive. Hello, 50s through the 90s. That entertainment is back and in a big way. Oh, by the way, this isn't a new discovery for us. No. This has been a long-running trend, something tried and true. So why are we talking about it now? Well, Hollywood just discovered it, and they're absolutely losing it. But why, you might ask, why are we gravitating towards the classics when there's a smorgasbord of new content out there? Well, buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the nostalgia pool and emerge with some answers, some numbers. And first off, let's talk about the bigger numbers. These streaming stats that we have recently been given. According to Nielsen, the top streaming shows of 2023 read like that blast from the past. You had Suits and NCIS and Friends and Big Bang Theory and a whole host of other old favorites. And people aren't just watching those things, they're binging them. They're just running. And if you look at the number 8 show, which is Friends, that had 25 billion minutes streamed just last year alone. That's not bad for a show that's been off the air since 2004. And the top show was Suits, and it clocked in at 57.7 billion minutes. Now, let's have some fun, just a little bit of fun, and let's look at the top original streaming shows for this last year. The number 8 show on this list of originals is The Mandalorian. It's got 3 seasons so far and a huge Star Wars fan base, and it looks like people just aren't showing up to binge this at all. In fact, it's a dwindling number of people who return to watch the previous seasons before the next season comes out as well. Now let's turn our attention to the big number 1 on the originals chart. And it's not a surprise, it's Ted Lasso, which is very popular. And it's got around its 3rd season finale, and it came in with a total of 16.9 billion minutes. Now again, with 3 seasons, you're going to have people that go back and watch season 1 and 2 before they watch the 3rd season, and obviously that's a known phenomena, but 16.9 billion versus 57 billion. And I guess the argument is there's more episodes of Suits to watch because there's multiple seasons, and same is true with Friends and Big Bang Theory and the whole host of the other originals. But why are that many people watching that many old episodes of old shows? I mean, really, that just doesn't answer the question. So I don't know about you, but I've actually got a theory on this, and I've been thinking about it for a while and reading up around it, this kind of a phenomenon. We live in a world of absolute chaos, a world of narratives, a world of the 24-hour news cycle, and that gives us whiplash every few minutes. Everyone is looking for some respite from the fake news and the pandaverse of entertainment that's just being pounded out there and pummeling us with bad. So what do we look for? Escape. And there's something comforting about revisiting the familiar. Of course. It's like wrapping yourself in a warm blanket of nostalgia and saying, hey, remember the simpler times? Plus, the quality of those shows always wins out. For the most part, they're truly timeless, and even some of the things that may not line up with today because of technological advances will still exist in our world. But here's where things are going to get juicy, folks. We're busy watching Ross and Rachel's on-again, off-again relationship, and Hollywood's kind of discovering this pickle all of a sudden. And according to a recent article in Deadline and a story that I covered in yesterday's video, jobs in Hollywood are drying up faster than a puddle in a desert, and actors are starting to feel this heat, and there is no water to be found. So what gives? Why the sudden drought in Tinseltown? It's not because people don't want to watch good things, and again, as I pointed out in the video that I made yesterday, which you can actually find right up here, there's something to the fact that there was this massive strike. It made it more expensive to even make shows, and even more dangerous to try something new. That's very, very costly. You see, while we were busy binge watching our favorite classics and some other reality shows and stuff like that, Hollywood execs were crunching some numbers and realizing something that was really alarming to them. New does not always mean better. And the fictional modern audience hasn't magically materialized because they never existed in the first place. Now, with skyrocketing production costs and dwindling audience for original content, they're left scratching their heads wondering if maybe, just maybe, they missed the memo on what viewers really wanted. But if they just paid attention to us, it's not like I've been terribly quiet. If they didn't call us a bunch of names all the time, they would, well, hear us saying, make something good, make something truly good. They don't want to hear that. But fear not, my fellow Culturian warriors. I actually like that. Look, all is not lost. Even as the streaming wars turns out to be the dreaming wars for nearly all of the new channels that launched over the course of the last 5 years, we actually have the power. I know that seems weird, but we do, because we can vote with our shoes. And by supporting the shows that we love, whether they're old favorites or hidden gems, we send a message to Hollywood loud and clear. Every time. Give us what we want. Listen to us. It will make you money. So the next time I'm confronted with a dilemma of watching Mad Men for the 37th time, or a questionable like Disney original Star Wars catastrophe like Acolyte, I think I'll make it a point to stick to my new rule and just watch some classics. These things never seem to fail to soothe or entertain or bring out a laugh. And after all, they've stood the test of time for that very reason. And hey, who are we to argue with that? As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, hit that like button on the way out, and until next time, see ya.